What happens when you try to terminate a pregnancy, only to realize you have walked straight into a demon's trap? Imagine standing at the edge of a forbidden jungle, knowing that the only way to save your career is to make a deal with a demon wearing human skin. This is the story of a woman who thought she was just terminating a pregnancy, but in reality she was preparing a vessel for a century-old evil to inhabit. Tonight, we are diving deep into the heart of darkness, into a cursed village where shadows breathe and trees whisper secrets of the dead. It starts with a scream that tears through the silence of the night. A woman, bound by invisible forces, her eyes rolled back into her head, dancing to a rhythm that isn't human. Around her, candles flicker violently, as if terrified of what is coming. In the center of the room stands a terrifying figure, an old woman, her eyes burning with a malevolent fire. She isn't here to help. She is here to feed. And what she craves is not of this earth. The pregnant model at her mercy realizes too late that the abortion she was promised is actually a sacrifice. The child isn't just being removed. It is being offered to a Satan, a jinn, in exchange for a dark power that allows this ancient witch to live forever. But there is a twist. The witch doesn't just want the baby. She wants the mother. She wants to transfer her rotting soul into a fresh, young body born under a specific sign. Can you imagine the terror? You are trapped in a dilapidated house in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by people you trusted, your lover, your friends, only to realize they have all been manipulated into delivering you to this slaughterhouse. The air smells of incense and decay. The floor is stained with the blood of those who came before you, and as the ritual begins, you feel something moving inside you, not a baby kicking, but a clawed hand scraping against your womb, trying to get out. This is a story of betrayal, of black magic so potent it warps your mind, and of a final stand that requires a woman to consume the heart of a demon to survive. Hold on tight, because we are about to enter the village of Rangkaspona, a place where God does not tread. Let's travel back to where it all began, to the year 1989. The setting is a remote Indonesian village, Rangkaspona, nestled deep within a dense, suffocating jungle and bordered by a dark, still lake. This place was never normal. It was a village steeped in black magic, a place where locals didn't just fear God. They worshiped Satan. It was a breeding ground for the occult, a sanctuary for those who practiced forbidden arts. The air here always felt heavier, shadows longer, and silence louder than anywhere else on Earth. We see a disturbing scene unfold. A man and his wife arrive at a peculiar house. The wife is pregnant, terrified, and trembling. They are here for one purpose: to get rid of the unborn child growing inside her. They knock on the door, but it doesn't open in the normal way. An arm, pale and thin, snakes out from the darkness of the doorway, beckoning the wife inside. It's an invitation she cannot refuse. Inside, the atmosphere is thick with dread. The woman performing the ritual is named Nida. She is not a doctor. She is a witch, a priestess of the dark arts. Nida begins her work with an unsettling intimacy. She runs her hands over the pregnant woman's belly in a way that makes your skin crawl, chanting in tongues that haven't been spoken for centuries. Near the door, we see a little girl named Rini. She is just a child, but innocence is a luxury this village cannot afford. Rini works for Nida, serving the darkness in exchange for survival. She has brought her own little son, Guna, with her, leaving him to sit outside while she assists with the horrors inside. Nida asks the pregnant woman if she is afraid. The woman nods, her voice shaking. She fears what this ritual might do to her, but Nida smiles, a cold, rehearsed smile. She tells the woman that this act will wash away her sins. It will cleanse you, she whispers. This sacrifice will keep karma away. It's a lie, of course. In this village, there is no cleansing, only a deeper damnation. The ritual begins. Nida does the unthinkable. She takes a pair of shears and cuts a lock of the pregnant woman's hair. And then, to the woman's horror, she eats it. Chewing on the hair as if it were grain, Nida places a strange concoction into a pot and orders the woman to squeeze her eyes shut. "Don't open them until I say so," she commands. Rini stands by, a silent witness to the madness. Nida starts her chant. It's low at first, a hum that vibrates in the walls, but it grows louder, more aggressive. The pregnant woman begins to tremble violently. It's not a seizure. It's a spiritual battle being fought over her body. Suddenly she goes limp, collapsing into a silence that is more terrifying than screaming. Nita announces that it is done. The baby is gone. But how? We don't see a medical procedure. Instead, we see something far worse. A dark, demonic shadow peels itself away from Nita's body. It slithers across the room and disappears. The realization hits us hard. Nita isn't human. She is a vessel for something ancient and hungry. Later, outside, the couple thanks Nita profusely, believing they have been saved. They don't understand that they have just fed the beast. Rini is busy tending to her son, Guna, who sits quietly by the door. But Guna sees something. Through the crack in the door, he looks inside. He sees Nita not as an old woman, but in her true form, terrifying Satan, eyes burning with malice, staring right at him. Guna is paralyzed with fear. He sees a black shadow moving nearby, and he realizes that what Nita actually did back there wasn't an abortion. The blood was gone. The baby, it had been devoured raw. It was a feast for the devil. Decades pass, and the story shifts to the present day, to the bustling city of Jakarta. We meet Salo, a famous model, face of glamour and success. She is preparing for a photo shoot with her photographer Bagas, but something is wrong. Xiao looks stunning on the outside, but internally she is falling apart. Her makeup artist comments on how dry and pale her face looks, as if life is being drained out of her. Xiao's friend surprises her with a cake. It's not her birthday, that's 2 days away, but her friend is leaving town and wants to celebrate early. In the midst of the celebration, Xiao receives news that changes everything. She has a meeting in Jakarta. A movie director wants to see her. This is the big break she has been waiting for, turning point of her career. She is overjoyed, telling Bagas that this is the opportunity of a lifetime, but the joy is short-lived. Suddenly, she feels a wave of nausea. She rushes to the bathroom, vomiting violently. Bagas follows her, his face etched with concern. As Xiao leans over the sink, reality crashes down on her. She is pregnant. The vomiting stops, but the terror begins. An unmarried model on the verge of a massive career breakthrough, pregnant, it's not just a problem. It's a catastrophe. It would ruin her image. The scandal would destroy her career instantly. She starts to cry, the weight of the secret crushing her. Later, driving home in the car, the tension is suffocating. So realizes the child isn't just anyone's, it's Bagas's. They are in love, but they are trapped by their circumstances. Bagas, who has known about the pregnancy for a while, tries to comfort her, but his solution is sinister. He tells her about his village. He says that in his village, abortion is simple. It's an ancient practice. No pain, no doctors, no paper trail. Just a quick ritual, and the problem disappears. Xiao is reluctant. It's her body, after all. She suggests raising the child, arguing that Bagas is just a photographer, so his career won't suffer, and she can always rebuild hers later. But Bagas shuts her down cold. He tells her the harsh reality. She is the breadwinner for her poor parents. If the news gets out, she will be blacklisted. No work, no money, no future for her family. He plays on her fear, manipulating her into believing the village is the only way. Xiao gets angry, accusing Bagas of just trying to save himself, of not being ready for fatherhood. Bagas denies it, claiming he is doing this for her career. He breaks her down until she has no choice but to agree. The next day, they are on a bus heading to the village. The journey is long and arid. Xiao is exhausted, falling asleep against the window. Her dreams are haunted. In her sleep, she sees a bloody, faceless figure hovering near her. "Ma," the figure whispers. Xiao wakes up screaming, her heart pounding. She looks beside her, and for a split second, she sees the bloody figure sitting in Bagas's seat. She screams again, but Bagas shakes her awake. It was just a nightmare, he says, but his eyes don't quite convince her. They arrive at the drop-off point. It's a desolate place in the middle of the jungle. The bus driver looks at them with pity as they step off into the wild. Bagas leads Xiao towards the dense forest. Xiao is terrified. She doesn't want to go in there, especially not in the dark. She begs to wait until morning. Bagas, impatient and hiding a dark secret, insists they go now. "I'm here," he says, his voice lacking warmth. "Don't worry." They walk through the jungle, crossing a rickety bridge over a dark lake. Xiao feels eyes on her. She senses a presence behind them, breathing down her neck. She turns around, but Bagas dismisses it as wind. But we, the viewers, see it. A dark shadow is stalking them, gliding effortlessly through the trees. By morning, they reach the entrance of Rangkaspona. The village looks abandoned, haunted by decades of sorrow. Bagas stops at a strange gate structure. He starts a ritual, pouring water from a bottle and placing a sharp, tooth-like object into the ground. This is the price of entry. Xiao watches, confused and unnerved, as he performs these arcane rites. She doesn't know it yet, but these acts are binding her to the village's curse. They walk into the village. It's a ghost town. Houses are crumbling, streets are empty. Bagas explains that after a flood in 1960, most people left. His own father fled the village years ago, leaving his sick mother behind to die. Xiao, trying to be polite, says that if they have time, they should visit his mother's grave. Bagas seems touched by this, and to cheer her up, he gives her a gift. It's a ring. He proposes to her. "Happy birthday," he says. Seiza is overwhelmed. In this moment of darkness, a spark of love seems real. She accepts, thinking that maybe, just maybe, they will get through this and be happy together. But the moment is shattered by a sudden, chilling noise from the jungle. Something is watching. Bagas rushes her, claiming the ritual must start immediately. Xiao is confused. Wasn't it supposed to be tomorrow? Bagas brushes off her questions, telling her the ritual is painless and necessary. As they walk, Xiao spots a little boy watching them from behind a wall. It's Guna, the same boy we saw in the flashback, now a young man. He looks at her with a mixture of pity and fear. They eventually arrive at Nita's house. Rini is there, and Xiao is introduced to her. Rini looks at Sal with an intensity that makes Sal uncomfortable. While Bagas is dragged away by a man from the village jacker for a private word, Rini confronts Xiao. She asks if Xiao is there to sacrifice. Xiao doesn't understand the term, but Rini clarifies, "The abortion." Rini assures her not to worry. "It doesn't hurt here," she says with a vacant smile. "You won't feel a thing, and you will be blessed." The words hang in the air like a curse. Xiao tries to ignore the dread rising in her chest. Bagas returns, acting strangely. He tells Sal he has some work to do, and leaves her alone with Rini. Sal is guided to a room to rest, but rest is impossible. The house is alive with weird energy. Outside, we see a man from the village fetching water from a well. The water level drops suddenly, unnaturally, and a black shadow slithers into Rini's house. Inside, Sal's door opens by itself. She hears a thud. She calls out for Rini and Guna, but no one answers. She walks into the kitchen and finds a pot on the floor. As she picks it up, she feels a presence behind her. She spins around and finds Guna standing there. He looks different, possessed. He moves towards her, his eyes rolling back, his mouth opening as if trying to speak but can't. Suddenly, his eyes turn completely white. He collapses. Sil is horrified. She tries to wake him, but Rini rushes in. Rini doesn't look scared, she looks resigned. She shoves her fingers into Guna's mouth, performing a quick, brutal ritual to bring him back. Guna wakes up normal again. Rini tells Sal not to worry, that Guna just has problems. Sal is shaken to her core. Bagas returns later and demands Sal bathe according to the ritual. He sends her to the well. The water Sal draws is clear, unlike the muddy water drawn earlier, but the atmosphere is oppressive. Rini gives her a special soil to rub on her body 3 times before washing. As Sal bathes, the ritual takes hold. She is washing away her protection, preparing herself like a lamb for the slaughter. After the bath, Sal sees Guna again. He hands her a clay doll, a toy. Sal takes it, trying to be nice, but when she looks back, Guna is gone. She hears Rini's voice from behind her, but when she turns, Rini is nowhere to be seen. Yet the doll remains in her hand. Reality is blurring. Xiao feels a sharp pain in her stomach. The pregnancy, or whatever is growing inside her, is reacting to the magic. She looks out the window and sees Guna standing in the field. He runs away, and Sayel, desperate for human connection, chases after him. The pain in her belly grows unbearable. She stumbles, clutching her stomach, and looks up. Guna is everywhere, surrounding her, watching her. A shadowy, bloody figure appears in the distance, stalking her. Guna whispers, "Hush." Sal tries to scream but can't. The masked, bloody figure lunges at her. She passes out from sheer terror. She wakes up in a rice paddy. Guna is there, silent, pointing at a strange statue of death and birth, with a sharp cage hanging above it. Suddenly, an old woman appears. It is Nita. She smiles at Hal, her eyes devoid of humanity. She asks why Sal wants to get rid of baby. Sal cannot speak. Nita laughs. I will help you, she says. I will help you be free. Nita brings Sal to the statue. She explains the philosophy of the village. From death comes life. She touches Seal's belly exactly as she did the woman in 1989. She tells Sal the ritual will be that very afternoon. Seal is confused. It wasn't supposed to be until tomorrow, but Nita insists she wants to help her quickly. She calls for Jacker to prepare the 3-month ritual. Meanwhile, back at the house, Rini confronts Bagas. She looks at him with disgust and lust, a twisted mix of emotions. You really enjoyed the city, didn't you? She asks. Bagas denies it, saying he only went there for work. But Rini knows the truth. She reveals that she knows Bagas didn't just go to the city for work. He went there to hunt. To find a specific woman. A woman born on June 6, 2006. Xiao, Bagas didn't bring her here by accident. He brought her here as a sacrifice. Xiao, oblivious, is being dressed for the ritual by Rini. She notices a watch on Rini's wrist, a man's watch. She asks where she got it. Rini says she bought it in the city. Xiao asks if she likes working for Nita. Rini's answer is chilling. Nita says no sacrifice is ever in vain. Xiao is uneasy. She asks Rini if she thinks Nita is good. Rini leans close, whispering, Do you think you are good? The question stuns Xiao into silence. Outside, Jacker is preparing the ritual site. He kills a black chicken with a snap of its neck, blood draining into the earth. He is tense, his eyes darting around. He knows what is coming, and he knows it is wrong. In the kitchen, Bagas confronts Rini about her attitude. Rini explodes. I sacrificed too. She screams. My son is sick because of you. Bagas grabs her, trying to calm her down, manipulating her again. We are doing this for Guna, he lies smoothly. After the sacrifice, Nita will cure him, then we can leave. We can be a family, he kisses Rini, a kiss that looks more like a seal on a pact than a romantic gesture, but the door is open and Sehel sees them. The betrayal is complete. Sehel realizes the truth. Bagas isn't her savior. He is her executioner. He is in league with these witches, sacrificing her to save Rini's son, or perhaps to save himself. She rushes back to her room to pack her bags to flee this nightmare. Bagas tries to stop her, desperate. Listen, he pleads. It's life or death. Guna will die without this. You don't understand. Sehel turns on him, furious. Rini is your wife, isn't she? And Guna is your son. What are we to each other? You used me. Bagas drops the facade. I need Guna to live. He is my blood. You are just a vessel, the sacrifice. If you don't do this, Sehel, you will die too. The ritual has already bound you to the village. You can't leave. But Sehel refuses to listen. She runs. She runs through the village towards the gate they entered through. But the moment she crosses the gate line, she collapses in agony. A sharp, searing pain tears through her abdomen. She passes out again, trapped in a web of the curse. She wakes up in a strange, white room. Her veins are turning black, pulsing visibly under her skin. Her belly begins to swell unnaturally fast. A demon's hand reaches out from her stomach, and the bloody face from her dreams presses against hers, whispering, Don't kill me. She wakes up for real back in the ritual clearing. Nita is there. She paints a mark on Sal's forehead. The sky turns pitch black. The ritual begins. Sehel is dressed in ceremonial robes, her body moving on its own, controlled by Reni's dark magic. She dances, contorts, and screams, fighting for control, but it's useless. She is a puppet. The cage descends from the sky, trapping her in a circle of darkness. When the ritual pauses, they drag Sehel back to Nita's house. Nita dances around her, summoning dark force. Sehel, still under spell, moves like a wooden doll. In her mind, she is trapped in a dreamscape where a little girl is shaking her, begging her to wake up. Sehel screams in the dream, and her voice echoes in reality. She wakes up on a table. Her vision clears, and she sees Bagas holding a knife. He cuts off a lock of her hair and gives it to Nita, who eats it again. The ritual of binding is nearly complete. Xiao looks down and sees the ring Bagas gave her. It's part of the spell. She looks at the ring, then at the love she thought they shared, and rage builds inside her. It gives her a moment of clarity. Nita begins her final chant. She moves her hands over Xiao's belly, drawing the life force out. As Nita leans in to bite Xiao's hand to seal the transfer, Xiao snaps. The fear is replaced by adrenaline. She bites Nita's hand instead, drawing blood. The spell breaks. Xiao is free. She bolts. She runs into the jungle, Bagas chasing her. Rini, seeing the chaos, looks for Guna, but he is gone. Panic sets in. Rini runs into the jungle to find him. Xiao is lost, stumbling through the trees when a hand clamps over her mouth. It's Jacker. He shushes her, pulling out a knife. He isn't with Nita. He is a rebel. We have to run, he whispers. Nita isn't helping anyone. She is a devil worshipper. She destroyed this village. Jacker asks Xiao her birthday. June 6, 2006, she whispers. Jacker's face falls. I knew it, he says. Nita doesn't want to abort the baby. She wants to transfer her soul into you. You are the vessel. You were born on the day of the devil. He explains that Nita caused the flood, the famine, everything. She made Guna sick to control Rini, and she used Bagas' guilt over his mother's death to manipulate him into finding a perfect host. Bagas catches up to them, shouting. Jacker stands in his way. She's lying to you, Bagas, Jacker yells. Nita never intended to save anyone. Bagas, blinded by his desperation to save his son, tackles Jacker. You don't know what you're talking about. Bagas screams, overpowering Jacker. Jacker looks at Ke. Go, he gasps. Run to the sacred tree. Xiao runs, but she finds herself back at the ritual site. Bagas is there, waiting. He grabs her, his face twisted with madness. Please, Xiao, he begs. For Guna? Do it for Guna? Xiao looks at him, tears in her eyes. You don't care about me, she says. You never did. She pushes him away and runs again, but the pain in her belly is back, crippling her. Meanwhile, Rini finds Guna in a forbidden part of the jungle, near an unmarked grave. Guna is digging. He pulls out a strange object wrapped in cloth, a heart. A still-beating, blackened heart. It is Nita's Horcrux, the source of her power. Back at the ritual site, Nita is furious. She begins a new ritual to trap them all. She senses Jacker's betrayal. She summons dark energy, and a cage falls from the sky, crushing Jacker. He dies instantly, a martyr for the truth. Bagas drags an unconscious Selo back to the altar. Nita strips her and ties her down. The final ritual begins. This time, Selho is fully bound. Guna is brought in, his eyes white again, forced to watch. Rini stands by, her heart breaking. As Nita chants, the room fills with black smoke. Xiao struggles against her ropes. Bagas stands by, unable to look her in the eye. Rini watches Guna. She sees his pain, his life force draining away as Nita gains power. Rini looks at the love of her life, Bagas, and sees the monster he has become. She looks at Nita, the woman who promised a cure and delivered only death. Rini sees a knife on the table, the same knife Xiao had carried. The realization hits her. Nita is lying. If Nita transfers her soul, Guna dies anyway. Rini has nothing left to lose. In a burst of rage, Rini grabs the knife. For Guna? She screams, lunging at Nita. She plunges the knife into Nita's chest. The effect is instantaneous. Nita's chanting stops. She stumbles back, clutching her chest. Her disguise falls away. Her hair turns from black to ghostly white in seconds. She falls to her knees, but she isn't dead yet. Bagas, realizing his plan is crumbling, attacks Rini. He tackles her, his hands wrapping around her throat. He is strangling the mother of his child. Why? He roars. Rini gags, fighting for air. Guna, freed from the spell as Nita weakens, runs to Safi. He cuts her ropes. Xiao, freed and fueled by adrenaline and terror, sees Bagas killing Rini. She picks up a heavy rock and slams it into Bagas's head. He falls limp. Bagas, the liar, manipulator, is dead. But Nita stands up. The wound isn't enough. She screams, a sound that shatters glass. Her body contorts, her skin tearing. The demon inside her is trying to escape. No! She howls. The black smoke from her wound forms a shadowy beast. Rini, gasping for breath, points Sal toward the gravesite. The heart! She chokes out. You have to eat it. You have to consume her power to destroy her. Sol, Guna, and Rini run to the spot where Guna was digging. Guna hands Sal the cloth-wrapped heart. It pulses in her hand. Nita is coming, her feet barely touching the ground, a whirlwind of rage behind her. Eat it! Rini screams. Xiao looks at the black, oozing heart. It's repulsive. But she looks at Guna, at Rini, and thinks of all the lives Nita has destroyed. Xiao closes her eyes and takes a bite, then another. She devours the heart. The reaction is catastrophic for Nita. She screams as her connection to the world is severed from the inside. She collapses, her body turning to ash. The smoke dissipates. But the victory is Pyrrhic. Rini collapses to the ground, her injuries from Bagas's strangulation too severe. She looks at Sal, then at Guna. Take care of him, she whispers with her dying breath. Rini dies in the dirt, a victim of the curse she tried to fight. Months later, we see Shail in a hospital. She is alive but changed. She is holding Guna's hand. They are a family now, bound by trauma and survival. A couple nearby recognizes Sael from a magazine cover. They ask for an autograph, but when they ask about her husband, Sael falls silent. She has no husband. She has a son, Guna, who is finally speaking, finally free from the darkness. The final scene shifts back to the village of Rangkaspona. It is quiet. The old man from the opening, one whose wife visited Nita in 1989, is digging a grave. He says, I don't want to die poor. He laughs, a mad, hollow sound. From the earth beneath his feet, a thin wisp of black smoke rises. The camera lingers on the smoke as it drifts toward the trees. The evil is gone, but the land remembers. The story ends, but the curse waits for the next traveler. This is the terrifying story of the sacrifice of womb. A tale reminding us that some choices echo in the dark long after they are made, and that in the face of ultimate evil, survival sometimes demands the ultimate sacrifice. If you found yourself deep in the cursed woods of Rangkaspona, would you have the strength to devour the devil's heart to survive?